Assalamu alaikum everyone and a very good afternoon. I am Engineer Samra Masood, lecturer at the Department of Civil Engineering, NAD University of Engineering Technology and local council member at IEP Karachi Center, along with Engineer Faiza Saeed, lecturer at the Department of Civil Engineering, NAD University, and central and local council member at IEP Karachi Center. We'll be hosting the closing session of this 13th ICEC 2023 today. Our honorable chief guest, Engineer Syed Murad Ali Shah Sahab, Engineer Professor Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodi, Engineer Suhail Bashir, Engineer Professor Dr. Sabzada Farooq Ahmed Rafiqi Sahab, Professor Dr. Asadur Rahman Khan, Engineer Professor Dr. Abdul Jabbar Sangi, Dr. Shamsoon Fareed, Engineer Al-Kazim Mansoor Sahab, Engineer Masood Ali Khan Sahab, Engineer Muhammad Afzal Guraya Sahab, distinguished guests and participants, I welcome you all to the closing session of this 13th International Civil Engineering Conference, ICEC 2023. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. To start the proceedings, and if you haven't heard me well, so that was a replay of what I just said. So excuses for this glitch. Now I welcome you all once again to start the proceedings of the closing sessions of the conference. I request Engineer Yusuf Iqbal to please come to the rostrum and recite a few verses from the Holy Quran. Yusuf, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون. ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. صدق الله العظيم. English translation. Remember me, I will remember you, and thank me, and never be ungrateful. O believers, seek comfort in patience and prayer. Allah is truly with those who are patient. Never say that those slain in the cause of Allah are dead. In fact, they are alive, but you do not perceive it. We will certainly test you with a touch of fear and famine and loss of property, life, and crops. Give good news to those who patiently endure, who say, when struck by a disaster, surely to Allah we belong, and to Him we will all return. They are the ones who will receive Allah's blessing and mercy, and it is they who are rightly guided. Now, Urdu translation. So, तुम मुझे याद करो, मैं तुम्हें याद किया करूंगा, और मेरे एहसान मानते रहना और नाशुक्री ना करना. ए ईमान वालो, सब्र और नमाज से मदद लिया करो, बेशक खुदा सब्र करने वालों के साथ है। और जो लोग खुदा की राह में मारे जाएं, इनकी निस्बत ये कहना कि वो मरे हुए हैं, वो मुर्दा हैं, वो मुर्दा नहीं बल्कि जिंदा हैं, लेकिन तुम नहीं जानते। और हम किसी कदर खौफ और भूख और माल और जानों और मेवों के नुकसान से तुम्हारी आजमाइश करेंगे, तो सब्र करने वालों को खुदा की खुशनुदी की बशारत सुना दो। इन लोगों पर जब कोई मुसीबत वाक़ होती है तो कहते हैं कि हम खुदा ही का माल हैं और इसी की तरफ लौट कर जाने वाले हैं। यही लोग हैं जिन पर इनके परवरदिगार की मेहरबानी और रहमत है, और यही सीधे रास्ते पर हैं। जज़ाकल्लाह।
Jazakallah Yusuf for such a pleasant recitation. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Thank you so much. On behalf of the local council of the Institution of Engineers, Pakistan, Karachi Center, and NIT University of Engineering and Technology, I once again welcome you all to this closing session of the 13th International Civil Engineering Conference, ICEC 2023, jointly organized by the Institution of Engineers of Pakistan, Karachi Center, and NIT University of Engineering Technology in collaboration with Federation of Engineering Institutions of Islamic Countries, Federation of Engineering Institutions of South and Central Asia, NIT International Alumni Network Association, Balochistan University of Engineering and Technology, Balochistan University of Information Technology, Engineering and Management Sciences, Sir Syed University of Engineering and Technology, Karachi. We have come to the closing of this 13th International Civil Engineering Conference after a long day of intensive discussions and presentations. I would first of all like to congratulate all the participants for their engagements in the discussions. The goal of the 13th ICEC 2023 was to gather scholars from all over the country and abroad to present advances in the relevant fields and to foster an environment conducive to exchange of ideas and information. We are thankful for all of you attending the conference and discussing on different sessions. The technical program committee of the conference has assembled an excellent program comprises of 9 invited talks by different learned professionals. To brief us more about the conference, I request Dr. Farooq Arif to please come over and present our conference highlights for this ICC 2023. Professor Farooq Arif, please welcome him.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Thank you, Samra, for promoting me to professor. I'm not, anyways. Distinguished guests, Murad Ali Shah Saab, Sohail Bashir Saab, my worthy Vice Chancellor. I'll not take much of the time. We had as Samra brief, we had very excellent sessions. 29 submitted papers were selected out of 70 submissions that were made, and they went through the rigorous review process. And we had 15 of them presented physically here in 9 different sessions. And then we had 14 online presentations. Other than that, we had keynote from Professor Barakhtar yesterday, Mr. Amirul Islam, who traveled all the way. And then we had basically 9 invited talks from industry people from all around the world. So we had a few visitors from USA, from local industry, who presented wide range of topics. So in the 9 sessions, if I briefly outline, in the first session where structural engineering session was presented, we had session.
वो अपनी पार्टी कर रहे होंगे दोनों.
Kindly mute your mic, whosoever is online. Okay. We had an online presentation from Professor Vivek, who basically talked about geopolymer in concrete and how it can be sustainably used. And then we had presentation from one of our colleagues from Peshawar, who stressed upon the point for preventing the crucial point of preventing disasters like 2005 earthquake through rigorous seismic assessment. We had material engineering sessions, and one of our own Al-Ghazi Mansoor Saab presented about the effects of carbon dioxide generation by the cement industry and what could be the remedies from there. We had comparative evaluation presentation with regards to recycled aggregates in the construction engineering session. We had a guest speaker stressing upon the need for the real estate development and formalizing the sector. Other than that, we had a number of presentations regarding the building information modeling, cost estimation, carbon minimization, and how these technologies can enable us to establish global partnerships as well as come up with solutions for sustainable civil engineering. Other than that, in the other sessions, we had discussions about the material replacement and learning from the international experiences, where we can help us elevate our basically industry and utilize lesser amount of natural resources, replace it with the unconventional means to sever our natural use of resources and focus on renewable. In other sessions, we had very detailed discussions about energy assessment. Energy efficiency is one part of the solution to energy crisis that we face in Pakistan. In different sectors, including healthcare sector, residential sector, which are one of the major consumers of energy. About 50% of our energy usage is from the residential sector. Then in transportation engineering session, we have a very good presentation by Mr. Ashar Lodi, who gave who shared his experience about the BRT projects and the challenges, the kind of challenges that were faced, specifically from climatic perspective, as well as how they can how the internationalization helped in establishing those projects. In hydraulic engineering sessions, we had technology-based presentations by one of our own speakers, Shoaib, who is pursuing his PhD from Iowa State, as well as we had discussions about flood modeling in different river basins in Sindh. And I've got the feedback from the audience that they were very good sessions. Finally, the sustainable engineering session, we had architect Hafiz Habibi describing the smart cities, education cities, the challenges, the SDG challenge that we face and what we have been able to achieve and where we lag behind, as well as presenters recommended integrated solutions to sustainable city and community planning. So this is a brief overview of all the sessions that we had. But, sir, the highlight is what we are all waiting for is the keynote by Murad Saab. So, inshallah, it would be a wonderful presentation. He would be sharing highlights about the infrastructure development through global partnerships in Sindh. So, thank you very much from my side. I hope you will enjoy the closing session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Inshallah, to be professor. And ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to request Engineer Suhail Bashir Saab, Chairman IIP Karachi Center, to please come over and share his thoughts. A huge round of applause.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Engineer Murad Ali Shah Saab, Dr. Surosh Ishmat Lodi, Professor S.F.A. Rafiqi Saab, Engineer Masood Ali Khan Saab, and all the respected guests, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. As already said by the host, that we had a very long day, starting from the 9 a.m. breakfast and now culminating at refreshment after this session. But before that, we have a very big activity, and you'll see our friend Murad in a different facet, not a political speech, but he is a class fellow of Dr. Sarosh, and probably is one of the brightest student of this institution. And today he will transform himself towards the technical side of the issues, which he has a very insight. Sabzada Farooq Saab is waving his because he has remained as professor. He knows this strengths. So that's why when we were sitting together and discussing who should be the keynote speaker, so we thought of Dr. Murad Ali Shah. Not he has stopped us to call doctor, although he has been awarded uh, honorary degree, doctorate degree by the NED University, and he is the one and only one who has obtained this from the NED University of Engineering and Technology. So we all are proud of him for his all the efforts he has done. So again, now coming back to this conference, the 13th International Engineering Conference, as you see, the number is 13. That means previously we had, over the last 2 decades, 12 engineering conference with there's a teamwork between the Institution of Engineers and the NED University of Engineering and Technology. And this is bringing spectacular results in the form of various conferences. Every year we are hosting 6 international conferences, not only in civil, but mechanical, electrical, biomedical, chemical, and also in health and safety. So, and all of this, and last year we had a very big agenda. We had UN SDGs conference with the partnership of Government of Sindh, and we are looking forward for a similar thing in March, first week of March 2024. And in that particular conference, almost all major international players were there. So again, when you see these conferences, there are international players like the Asian Civil Engineering Coordinating Council, Federation of Engineering Institution of Islamic Countries, Federation of Engineering Institution of South and Central Asia, then the local universities, the NED University, the Sir Syed University, the BUTEMS from Quetta, the BUTE from Khuzdar, and Mehran University, Quest from Nawab Shah, all have remained our partners in this. So the main purpose is to disseminate whatever is happening. And if you go through the theme of this particular conference, it's all about how to develop sustainable development. And we are emphasizing on the 17th goal, that's the partnership, global partnership for sustainability. And that's what Murad will also be speaking on it. So again, I take this opportunity to thank all of you for sparing your times. And I feel that at the end of the day, you will be much enlightened by the talk of Engineer Murad Ali Shah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sohail Saab. Ladies and gentlemen, now I request Engineer Asim Murtaza Khan Saab, President NED International Alumni Network Association and CEO Sindh Petroleum Private Limited, to please come over and give his address. Sir, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sayyid Murad Ali Shah Sahab, Sarosh Asmat Lodi Sahab, Sohail Bashir Sahab, Sahibzada Farooqi Sahab, all the professors and to-be professors, faculty members, students, guests, Assalamu alaikum. I'm really honored to be here today and address this August audience on behalf of the Canadian Pakistan Association. Canadian this November is 4 years old. We formed this organization in November 2019, and since then, the organization has been quite active in raising funds, pledges for the betterment and whatever uplift we could do to this university's classrooms, making smart classrooms and contributing towards scholarships and in whatever other ways we could. One of the programs worth mentioning here, which the NEDians patronize, it's being spearheaded by NEDian North America. It's the mentorship program for the young graduates. It started off with a small group of 7 or 8 mechanical engineers, young graduates last year. A very good start of mentoring by our North American colleagues and Pakistani colleagues. The success of that program was such that today we have about 30 mentees, 30, and 16 mentors. They are from Pakistan and from North America. So it's, within a year, we grew from a number of 7 to 30. And I'm so happy to report that the program has now expanded from mechanical engineering to 7 disciplines of engineering. That includes civil engineering as well, no discrimination. I'm here in a civil engineering conference, so I must acknowledge. And what does this program offer? It's to brush up the finer details of our young graduates who lack finer skills, presentation, CV writing, job interviews. It's a deficiency they face socially and in our schooling systems. So the mentorship program helps to bring them up to a level whereby they can effectively interact with employers and present themselves proudly as NEDians. The overwhelming success of this program can be measured by the fact that tomorrow we have a webinar and the Zoom account had to be upgraded to accommodate 500 participants. So that's the success of this program. And there are white American speakers who are going to be involved in this mentorship program. They will speak on how to get admissions in US universities, master's programs, and other skills. It's something that has really shown good results, excellent results. I would like to thank all of those who have supported this program, sitting here in this audience, and would solicit all the assistance and support going forward in this program. Now, why is this relevant today? There is a panel discussion, and a young civil engineer has been selected to participate in that panel tomorrow. So that's something which gives an opportunity to young engineers to be amongst very senior, experienced panelists and participate. So that's the level of confidence we hope to give to our young graduates. These are some of the activities amongst the 19 activities in our charter, and we hope to add more and do seriously in whatever we do. Some of the other institutions have approached us to include their students, their graduates in the mentorship program as well. And very sadly, we had to be reluctant on such requests because I and some of my colleagues believe that the mentorship program has a backbone, it has a spine, and that's the Student Alumni Association, which is driving it. The other institutions, unfortunately, either do not have that organization or the organizations are ineffective. So unless they can come up with that commitment, the structure to offer that kind of an engine, unfortunately, a mentorship program will not function. When they achieve that stage, that level, and I'm sure they will very soon, NEDian would be very happy to do a global partnership with them as well and assist in a national cause go beyond NEDs. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asim Saab. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite our keynote speaker, Engineer Syed Murad Ali Shah, former Chief Minister, Sindh and NED alumnus, for his keynote address. Engineer Syed Murad Ali Shah has obtained a bachelor's degree of engineering in civil engineering from NED University of Engineering and Karachi and a master's degree in structural engineering and engineering economic systems from Stanford University, USA. He has served at several national and international engineering and financial organizations. He has served as Provincial Minister for the Revenue, Irrigation, Finance and Energy Departments, Advisor to Chief Minister Sindh on Finance and Energy. As a Chief Minister of the province since July 2016, he has been an extremely proactive supporter and enabler for the development of Sindh. His contributions to public service, both in the capacity of provincial minister and chief minister, are exemplary. His endeavors for the Thar coal development since 2008 had resulted in the infrastructure development in Thar, which catalyzed coal exploration and power generation. The public-private unit in Sindh under his leadership has been ranked as 6th best in Asia out of 17 countries in the report of 2018 published by the world-renowned UK-based The Economist magazine group. The unit has undertaken a number of initiatives in various sectors including roads, bridges, education, health, energy, IT, culture, tourism, water and municipal services. These initiatives have a huge impact on improving the quality of life of the people in Sindh. During the COVID-19 pandemic, his performance was exceptional to the extent that he was highly appreciated within the country and the WHO level. Under his able leadership, several projects for the infrastructure development of several universities as well as research grants for the researchers in various universities were approved. Endowment funds were established in several universities as a step towards self-reliance. During the last flood devastation, his role as chief executive of the province was extremely condemnable as he was all around on the ground monitoring the flood and passing the orders on the spot to the local administration. This helped to reasonably control the devastation in Sindh. Please welcome Engineer Murad Ali Shah for his keynote speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Professor Sabza Farooq, Dr. Sarosh Lodi, Suhail Bashir Saab. I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience, engineers, organizers of the conference, students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I start off by thanking the organizers of this conference for inviting me here today. About a couple of weeks back, I got a call from the Vice Chancellor, or actually a message from the Vice Chancellor asking me to come and speak at this conference. And my first reaction was to say no. The reason being, the conference is titled the 13th International Civil Engineering Conference. Though I've been a civil engineer, but that was in the last century. For the last more than almost 3 decades, I've not been closely associated with civil engineering. After getting my studies, I did work for a short time, or relatively short time, in the engineering sector, but then moved on to banking, and for the last more than 2 decades, as the introduction was made, I've been a member of the Provincial Assembly, and for the last more than 15 years, a part of the government of Sindh. So I said, I thought I'd message him or call him and tell him that I won't be able to speak. But then I saw the theme of the conference.
And the theme was creating global partnerships for sustainable development for civil engineering, something like that, right? Yeah. So civil engineering part was just at the end. I thought I could get away with my little or no knowledge of engineering anymore, but could add value in telling you about my experience in creating global partnerships for sustainable development. And when I was doing this, I picked up the words sustainable developments and global partnerships. And I thought that, yes, I probably can add a few things, talk about my experiences, which might not, have the audience go to sleep. Though, as Whale said, I know you didn't give them lunch, breakfast, and then so they must be all hungry and waiting to go for the snacks. So, sustainable development and global partnerships, and this leads me to the next slide on my presentation, if I can have that. Suhail Bashir Saab talked about the Sustainable Development Goals. How it all started, 92, the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, where more than 178 countries got together. They signed or adopted Agenda 21, which was an agenda to build global partnership with sustainable development to improve human lives and protect the environment. In the year 2000, Millennium Development Goals were set. The 8 Millennium Development Goals were set, which were to reduce extreme poverty by the year 2015. By 2012, when they met again in Rio de Janeiro, the UN realized that they will not be able to meet these targets of reducing extreme poverty by the year 2015. So a more comprehensive sustainable development goals were made, and of these sustainable development goals, there were 17 of them, and they're shown on the slides there. Apart from the usual social sector criteria as to give quality education, to provide good health services, for clean water and sanitation, it included it as goal number 17, and you just see it at the last there, partnership for the goals. And in those, they talked about creating public-private partnerships and global partnerships in order to eradicate poverty from the world and to make the world a better place to live in. So I thought, I definitely can talk about this. I've had something to do about it. And I go back to the year 2008, when we were in the government of Sindh. And the challenge that we faced was the huge resources that were required for infrastructure development and even for service delivery. And the government budgets at that time, just to give you an example, the annual development program of the government of Sindh in 2008, if I remember correctly now, was 55 billion rupees. And we felt that with these meager resources, we will not be able to come up to the expectations of the people, and we need to look at something which was out of the box. Public-private partnerships had been tried in this country at that time, but to a very small extent. And we thought that we'll start a public-private partnership unit in the finance department. At that time, I wasn't heading the finance department back in 2008, but a year and a half later, I started working in finance. And by that time, it had just picked up. And if I can get the next slide, we said we will start public-private partnership unit. And the advantages, as you all know, the collaboration between the public and the private sector to deliver public service infrastructure and development projects. We were sure we were hoping to attract foreign investment. And the reason that we thought we'd be able to do that is that we'd have a structured framework with clear risk sharing mechanisms. We would have revenue models, payment mechanisms, and bankable feasibilities, bankable projects, so that the foreign investors could be attracted. And we'd marry the efficiencies in the private sector with the regulatory power, with the resources available in the public sector, in order to fill the gap in the province, the infrastructure gap, as well as service delivery. And I'll talk about service delivery also, because we used our public-private partnership framework to provide educational health service delivery platforms. So what did we do? If I can get the next slide. In 2008, as I told you, we established the public-private partnership unit. We immediately realized that we need a very strong legal framework. So in collaboration, we collaborated with the Asian Development Bank at the very start. They helped us frame the laws. And in 2010, the Provincial Assembly of Sindh passed the Public-Private Partnership Act. Now, this gave us the legal framework, the act. What we did was we've got a public procurement regulatory rules. We added a chapter for public-private partnerships. In those rules, we framed established two funds: the Project Development Fund to identify projects, and to, obviously you need money in order to develop projects. And we established a viability gap fund in order to boost or to support the projects which were otherwise not economical or feasible and needed some viability gap funding. So we, in our regulatory framework, also have guidelines for the project development facility for the viability gap funding. And this created a platform which very soon became very popular. And in a very short time, we were able to accomplish a lot. Next slide, please. So with this solid base, projects in infrastructure development, education, health, energy, and other sectors were undertaken. An issue that we had was that we could not give sovereign cover, being a provincial subnational government. And at that time, and more so now, there's a problem with sovereign cover. So we initially started with 100% standby letter of credits to project investors, to the lenders. These were backed by the investment bonds that the government of Sindh held. Later on, after successful repayments, we reduced this coverage to 50%, and we've been successful in doing that. And currently, we are developing projects in new sector, or not me now, but the government of Sindh is developing new projects. Started while I was chief minister, in water treatment, in carbon emission reduction, in desalination. And here we're talking about, and I'll talk a little about that later, in terms of removing the standby letter of credits or the government support, and bringing in guarantees from outside agencies acceptable to the lenders and acceptable to the project developers. What kind of success did we have? We'll just go to the next slide. As mentioned, in 2018, within 8 years of the Public-Private Partnership Act, The Economist magazine did a survey of Asian countries, and there were only 2 subnational governments which were included in the survey. One was the state of Gujarat in India, and the second one was the province of Sindh in Pakistan, along with the other sovereign countries. And we were ranked number 6 in the survey. The Pakistan Public-Private Partnership Unit, the federal government's Public-Private Partnership Unit, was ranked at number 12. In the last 15 odd years, there's been 15 years now, what we've done, what we've achieved is one of our transactions, and I'll talk a little about that later when I talk about the transactions, won the Deal of the Year from the Islamic Finance News Survey. Another of our projects, the Malir Expressway, got the award for Transport Deal of the Year in 2021. And the successes that our unit has achieved, we've been able to assist the federal government and the other provinces to set up their public-private partnership units. Next slide, please. In terms of the volumes, if you look at the numbers, they are huge. I talked about 55 billion rupees as the total outlay back in 2008. Currently, the public-private partnership unit of the government of Sindh is undertaking projects which are at different stages of more than 700 billion rupees. Of these, if you look at the pie chart on the left there, 58 billion rupees worth of projects are complete. And 142 billion rupee projects are under construction. The others, we've got investor solicitation projects, feasibility stage projects, and a project pipeline. And what sectors have been working on? We started off with the road project, and I'll talk about that. We've gone in the energy sector, health and education sector, the water sector, industries. Dabiji Special Economic Zone is one example of that. So, and in all areas, we've gone into food, having food, we're building a project for food silos in Sindh. So it has been very successful. Next slide, please. I think I've missed a slide here. That slide. Somehow I've also lost the slide here. The first, the ongoing PPP projects, I call them ongoing even though the Hyderabad-Mirpur Khas dual carriageway is complete, but it's still ongoing because it's got a 25-year concession period and we are in this concession period. This was our first project. We started this back in 2010. And for the very first project, we built a global partnership. Deokje, a Korean company, construction company, were the sponsors. And this was a 60-kilometer road between two of our divisional headquarters, Hyderabad and Mirpur Khas. A very heavily used road and a beautiful road that because it's got mango trees on both sides, and the road, if you look at the aerial view of the road, you'd not realize though. Sindh is a very beautiful province, and more than me, Dr. Surosh can testify to that because he's traveled more in Sindh than I have. And he would tell you that this is one of the best roads in the country, both in terms of the engineering standard of the road as well as the beauty of the road. In the education sector, what we did was we teamed up with USAID, and they built 155 schools. Oh, sorry, $155 million worth of schools. I don't remember the number of schools. I've forgotten that. And the agreement with them was that they will be given to the private sector for management. And we have shortlisted educational management organizations to run these schools. And again, this has been a very, very successful project. The Teachers Training Institute, along with Durbin, a subsidiary of Zindagi Trust, and the University of Helsinki. We're running a teachers training institute here, also in public-private partnership. I talked about this project, which has won us all these international awards. This is the Nabisar Vajiyar Waterworks. I'll talk about the Thar right at the end. I'll spend a few minutes on Thar at the right at the end. And here, Enetec, a Kuwaiti company, teamed up with us, and we're doing this project is about 27 or 28 billion rupees, if I remember correctly. And this project won us. This is taking water for the Thar coal power plants. As obviously, as you all know, Thar is a desert and we don't have water there. So the first few power plants we've built using the groundwater, but then the groundwater is also running out. So we need to take water to Thar. And this pipeline, the Nabisar Vajiyar Waterworks, does that, and this has won some international awards. Right where we are standing right now, the NED Technology Park, another, I believe, 24.5 billion or 25 billion rupee project, again with a Kuwaiti company that we are constructing here at the NED, again, first of its kind. Next slide, please. Then the upcoming projects which use global partnerships. The West Karachi Recycling Plant, the TP1, here the feasibility study was conducted by Asian Development Bank. Matito, China, Gazuba, and Marubeni have submitted the expression of interest for the project, and one of them is going to get it. So, we'll have a global partnership here. We'll have global partners. The sewage treatment plant for now, again, the reason that we're going into public-private partnership for these projects, they have an economic value, and at the same time, the cost of these projects, these are north of 100 billion rupees each, both TP3 and TP4. And the provincial resources or even the federal resources would not be enough to build these projects. In the TP4, ADB and World Bank is committed. Now, this was again, we were talking to the World Bank and they wanted to support us in water and sanitation. So we said, we'll go into public-private partnership and you contribute towards the viability gap fund. And they've agreed to do that. Asian Development Bank followed. So this will again be a new kind of a innovative project where we've got international financial organizations. We'll get an international developer who would come in, and the government of Sindh all team up to build this the sewage treatment plant. The Hub Canal, again, as you all know, we get water from the Hub Dam for the city of Karachi. It's 50 or 100 million gallons a day, 100 million gallons a day. And right now, we're getting less than 50% from it because of the old infrastructure. So we are upgrading that so that we can take it back to 100 million gallons a day. And when I left the government, we're in the final stages of this project. With JICA, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, we are rehabilitating and constructing 54 public schools. With the World Food Program, we are building food silos. So we've got international agencies, international financial institutions, banks, foreign governments, all have come, got interested in our public-private partnership projects, and we've been able to build them. Next slide, please. As you know, I told you we've been collaborating with foreign institutions. We have a 15-year relationship with the Asian Development Bank. We started off the public-private partnership in partnership with the Asian Development Bank. They helped us in formulating the laws, in formulating or advised us on the public-private partnership unit within the finance department. Recently, what we've done is, and I talked about this earlier, we've signed an MOU with Infrazam in Pakistan and Guaranco, and they are going to provide us with credit enhancement facilities. So with this, we'll do away with the standby letter of credits, and we'll have a commercial organization taking the credit risk for it and charging obviously a premium for it. With them, we're also making efforts to tap into carbon credit market for climate resilient projects. And one other thing, though it's not part of this presentation, I'd like to tell you that the government of Sindh is the only government in this country which has been able, and till now we've got about $22 million as carbon credits because of a mangrove plantation that we've done in Thatta. And we are the only government which has been able to do this, even though the climate ministry, the climate change ministry at the federal level is much more, they have many more resources, but despite that, they've not been able to do this. So, I'd also, next slide, I talked about the Hyderabad Mirpur Khas dual carriageway, a few projects I'll talk about now. This was our first project, a 60-kilometer long road, 4-lane dual carriageway, 2 lanes on each side. connecting Hyderabad to Mirpur Khas. As I said, it was a flagship project. It was the first major road sector project, and the financing was done through local lenders. And by the grace of Almighty Allah, the project debt has been retired in December 2020, and this is now a debt-free project. The second project, we started this a little later, the Chit Mulakatiyar Bridge. I don't know if any one of you has, I'm sure Dr. Surosh must have gone and traveled on it. This connects District Thatta and District Tando Muhammad Khan. It's a bridge over River Indus. And the government of Sindh is the only provincial government in Pakistan who's constructed bridges over River Indus or any major river. All the other provinces have had federal government constructing these bridges for them. This was the first bridge. Since then, we've constructed the Thatta Sijawal Bridge, which is an old bridge which had to be rehabilitated, or a new bridge was built there. So this project, again, 4.5 billion rupees, done about 6 or 7 years ago now, completed. The government of Sindh is paying its annuity charges, and this has reduced the travel time from Tando Muhammad Khan to Karachi. Otherwise, they'd had to go to Hyderabad and then come from the superhighway, the M9, and this has reduced the travel time by about 2 hours. And what the advantage that is brought to both Karachi residents and the residents of Tando Muhammad Khan is that Tando Muhammad Khan is a vegetable growing district, and a lot of vegetables come to Karachi, and the travel time is greatly reduced because of this. Next slide, please. Some of the projects, the Jhirk Mulakatiyar Bridge is currently, as far as I know, and I'm sure I'm right, is the longest bridge on a river in Pakistan. And it was about 1.7 kilometers long. And the one on the extreme right, the Kotki Kankor Bridge, which is under construction right now, this will now be the longest bridge after it is constructed. And now we're building this from Band to Band in Kankot because we're worried about the flood problems when we're building these bridges. And I don't remember the exact, perhaps Dr. Surosh could help me out because we'd asked him to do a review on this. The total length of this bridge is more than 10 kilometers, I think. 12 kilometers, the total length of the bridge, because we did not want to do any river training works because of the flood problems that we've been facing. And again, this will be the longest bridge in Pakistan being done in public-private partnership. So the government resources that we spend, about 20 to 25%, the rest come from the private sector, either through the equity or through lending from the banks. The M9 N5 link road is almost complete. It's this has taken a much longer than we wanted, but there's a 22-kilometer which connects the national highway to the superhighway. The Malir Expressway, another flagship project for Karachi. It's a 38-kilometer long 6-lane road starting from Jam Sadiq to Kathor interchange on the Jam Sadiq Bridge to the Kathor interchange on the M9. We've achieved financial close. The construction work is going on, and we're hoping. Our plan was to construct the first part up to Qaidabad by the end of this year. It might get delayed by a little bit, but not much. And inshallah, in the year 2024, this entire road will be complete, which would enable the heavy traffic to not to go through the city, but they can take this route of the Malir Expressway and get to the go up country. Next slide, please. I talked about the Nabisar Vajia project, the Karachi Hub Canal project, and the recycling plants. I won't, these are all on the screen here. Next slide. The sewage treatment plant, TP4, I spoke about. We are doing a 5 million gallon per day desalination plant in public-private partnership. Water is a huge issue, as you all know. People living in Karachi, people living anywhere in Pakistan know that our rivers are running dry. and we'll have to come up with new resources. One is efficient use of water, which the government of Sindh is doing. We've got several lining projects which are going on. The only province which has invested hugely in lining of the canals, and but the solution would be to go, as technology develops and it becomes cheaper, to go for desalination. And to start, we're doing a small 5 million gallon per day desalination plant, hoping that this would start more investment into this sector. If you take next slide, please. In the education sector, I talked about the education management organizations, the Teacher Training Institute in Karachi, Husainabad. We are doing in public-private partnership the teacher training institutes in Mirpur Khas and Ladkana. We've got a non-formal education project. And all these use the public-private partnership framework, the legal framework, and this is what gives investors the confidence to go into us, because they've got legal cover for all the investments that they make. In the health sector, we have regional blood centers in Karachi, Jamshoro, Shahid Benazirabad, and Sakkar. And all these we've entered in with renowned health sector organizations to run the regional blood centers there, and they're working very efficiently. With the National Institute of Child and ICEC, we had an old project and it's being rolled over. This is for security within the hospital, because they had a problem of newborns being kidnapped from the hospitals. So since we've had this, we've not had an incident, and this project has been going on. So again, project which would not think would come into the public-private partnership realm, but it has, and we're using the public-private partnership laws for us. After this, the JPMC safety project, the Jinnah Postgraduate Medical Center, we have the project feasibility is being done. In the health sector, we've teamed up with Indus Health Network, and the district headquarter hospital, Badin, is being operated by them. Apart from this, in the health sector, we've done lots of other public-private partnership. We've taken lots of others public-private partnership initiatives. In the GPMC, with the Indus Hospital Network, Government of Sindh is the biggest contributor for the hospital in Karachi. And we've got the NICVD, again, where the public-private partnership, the SIUT is another example, where the government is again the biggest contributor, but the private sector comes in with large donations. And we've got a framework where their donations are secured. Next slide, please. In the industrial sector, I spoke about the Thabiji industrial zone. Again, this is under the CPEC framework, and inshallah, with its completion, we'll see the exports from this country improve. A Marble City project is being done. In the recreation sector, we've got the Rani Bagh project for Hyderabad, Old Rani Bagh. It is being developed under public-private partnership in the technology center. I spoke about the NED Technology Park. In the next slide, forest sector, the carbon emissions reductions through forestation project, 100,000 acres of riverine forest land at Matiari and Saidabad. And again, what we intend to do is use these to earn carbon credits and sell those carbon credits in the market. As I told you, the province of Sindh has been able to sell their carbon credits from the mangroves. We've got about $22 million from those. In the food and agriculture sector, I talked about the food silos project. Again, we don't have enough storage for our wheat. When we procure wheat, the storage is about half the total wheat that we procure. We've got proper storage for it. And because of not having proper storage, we have lots of waste and we lose a lot of grain. And our silos project will help us recover that gain. And inshallah, we'll be able to make this a profitable project. As I promised you at the very end, last slide, please, I'll just go briefly into Thar. The Thar coal fields were discovered in 1992, 91 or 92. And during that government of the Pakistan People's Party, they started a project for setting up two 5,200 megawatt power plants, 5,240 megawatt power plants, a total of 11,400 megawatts in Tharparkar using the indigenous coal. Unfortunately, that project ran into snags and did not develop when we came back into government in 2008. This was one of the first initiatives that we restarted, and with a lot of opposition from almost everyone, the federal government being the most, creating the most hinders in this. We continued and we are able, and just to give you, and I'm sure most of you would know this, the resources that we have there, 175 billion tons of coal, which is equal to 15 billion tons of oil equivalent. And this is more than the total oil reserves of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait combined. So this is the kind of resource that we have, and it was untapped. As I speak now, next slide. The first project that we did was in public-private partnership. Later projects are being done on their own. So what happened was that we invited people to come in, but there was no interest, literally no interest. And we teamed up with Ingro Corporation, formed a company in partnership with the government of Sindh, the Sindh Ingro Coal Mining Company. And as I speak now, we've got partners from China in this project. And at this moment, the mine that we have, the current mine size of this, just one block, then we've got another block which the Chinese have taken, they're producing power there. We've got 7.6 million tons per annum is the current mine size. 19 million tons of coal has been supplied from this mine, and about 3 million households are powered daily. And we've, since the inception of this project, saved more than $1 billion in foreign exchange. This mine is being expanded to 11.2 million tons. In terms of what the stakeholders have got back, the government of Sindh has earned about 8.5 billion rupees in royalties. The shareholders, government of Sindh being the largest shareholder, we've got a 54% stake in this project, has got dividends of 8 billion rupees to date. Next slide. This slide just gives the project sponsors and our foreign lenders, our partners, the China Development Corporation, China Construction Bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China Limited. So what we've been able to achieve from Thal, next slide please, is till now, we've got 1320 megawatts operating from Thal, another 330 megawatts is this is also under operation, the Thal power. Apart from this block, the other block with the Chinese doing, they've got 1320 megawatts. As we speak, almost 3,000 megawatts of energy is produced from the coal in Tharparkar, which people thought less than 10 years ago was not possible. And the government of Sindh, through its perseverance and through its public-private partnership process, was able to do this. So to wrap it up, our public-private partnership unit has been a success. We've got global interest in it. And what we've done is we've been able to achieve what we started off. At the road is, we've got a long road to go, but we've been able to achieve, and if you go to the last slide here that I have, through global partnerships, we've been able to successfully do infrastructure projects, service delivery projects, and our partners. We've got the H&L Bank, the USAID, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, University of Helsinki. DOJ, as I told you, was our first international partner. The World Bank has been working with us. The World Food Program, Infrazaman, Garanco, and the Matitco, the constructors for the waste treatment plant, CMEC of China, the Chinese banks, JICA, and apart from these, we've had interest in public-private partnership from the Western countries also. The Spanish had come in for a public sector transport project, but they were bid out by somebody else who said, but they had come in for this project, they couldn't get in. So what the government of Sindh has been able to achieve through this is create an interest and make the public-private partnership unit a success. And through this, we've been able to achieve we made some progress on achieving the sustainable development goals. And we probably are the only government in Pakistan which has used goal number 17 of building global partnerships and has been successful in that. As you know, when I'd left the government, the public-private partnership was expanding even further. We've got nodes in all our line departments. And as I see this going forward, we'll have many more successes, and the infrastructure gap, the resource gap would be filled in through partnerships built through our public-private partnership unit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative keynote speech. Now I request Engineer Farhat Adil, President, the Institution of Engineers, Pakistan. Okay. So let's move towards the next address. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Engineer Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodi, Vice Chancellor, NED University of Engineering and Technology and Convener ICEC 2023 to please come forward and deliver his address. Please welcome Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodi, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Respected Murad Ali Shah Sahab, Asim Murtaza Sahab, Sohail Bashir Sahab, and my respected teacher Sabzada Farooq Sahab, dear friends, colleagues, and students, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. Whatever Shah Sahab has mentioned is a wonderful success story, and I take a lot of credit because I've been part of the Public-Private Partnership Policy Board almost since its inception in 2015. But I must tell you that it's a tremendous way to actually take your money a long way. Instead of investing money, you pull in money. And when you pull in money, you're actually talking about collaborations. And if you look at the system which Allah Ta'ala has produced, and it keeps on telling us, which we seldom pay any attention, is all about collaboration and working together. I am raising my family, it's all about collaboration. I work in an institution where there is a collaboration. I try and work with my partners, which is collaboration. So the more you collaborate, the more you expand, the more you talk to people, the more you involve people, the more successes that you get. And you actually augment not only the money, but the ideas and the resources as well. For me, it has been a privilege to be part of the Public-Private Partnership Policy Board for almost 8 years now. And I must say that as a result of part of that very important institution in the province, we were able to learn and bring in foreign investment into Pakistan in terms of the NED University Science and Technology Park, which inshallah will achieve the financial close by the end of this month. And the construction shall start towards the next early next month. We are talking about an investment of about 25 billion rupees on this campus. And that is an excellent way to learn how we can actually augment resources by collaboration. And obviously, when we are talking about that kind of infrastructure or the building, it is going to be a net zero building, which will be saving carbon credit and all the other things which are very important for the development of education and research in the country. And I'm sure this will work as a role model for the rest of the country. In the end, I won't take a long time because I think we're running out of time. Asar is almost at the end of Asar time. So I would like to thank Mr. Murad Ali Shah for being here at a very short notice. I would also like to thank all the participants, especially the speakers who have spoken very well. I think it's a very successful event. But in the end, I would just mention one thing that even though we are cherishing these moments of success, but we must not forget our brothers and their sufferings in Gaza. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now I request Engineer Dr. Shamsoon Fareed, Secretary 13th ICEC 2023, to please come forward and present the conference recommendation.
Honorable Chief Guest Syed Murad Ali Shah Sahab, respectable Vice Chancellor, respectable Rafiqi Sahab, my dear colleagues and students, Assalamu alaikum. In this 13th International Civil Engineering Conference, 30 technical papers were presented, which mainly focused on structures, transportation, construction, and water resource engineering, and it gives us the perspective and influence on the global partnership for sustainable development. Based on this presentation, I would like to present following recommendation that were drawn from these presentations. Number one, get access to clean and affordable energy and the development of resilient and sustainable infrastructure is essential for sustainability in cities and communities. Advancement in construction technology to provide structures with reduced energy needs and energy, improved water quality, substantially increased water use efficiency, integrated water resource management at all levels for the protection of water-related ecosystems. Transportation presents many challenges with respect to the SDGs. It is recommended to reduce climate and environmental impacts, to improve transport system and traffic safety, and to manage concern related to jobs and decent works. With that, I would like to thank IEP and Department of Civil Engineering for this great opportunity to be secretary of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Our audience loves you. Ladies and gentlemen, IEP Karachi Center regularly awards Chairman IEP Karachi Center Medal to the best paper of the conference. Selection committee comprising of the session chairs has decided the best paper for the 13th ICEC 2023. To make the announcement for the best paper of the conference, I would like to request Engineer Suhail Bashir, Chairman IEP Karachi Center, to please come forward and announce the best paper award. Sir, please.
Well, it has been a tradition of the Institute of Engineers Pakistan Karachi Center to award a medal to the best paper presented during each conference that were held. And in this particular conference also, there were many good papers. I'll just name a few. One from Mehran University, Jamshoro, on the comprehensive analysis of embedded carbon of institutional buildings, presented by Zina Khalid. Another good paper from Butum's Energy Analysis of Residential Building, Quetta. But all in all, the best paper, which has been decided by the jury, is Factors Influencing Construction Workers' Productivity in the Construction Projects of Quetta City, presented by Ayaz Khan Bazai and Hafiz Muhammad Adil and Shahzada M. Karim from Butum's Quetta. If they are here, please come forward. I'll request the members of the Butum's team to please come forward to receive the memento. Are they here? They have left. Anybody from Butams? They were. Okay, anybody from Butams can come and receive the memento. Abdul Basit. Thank you. Over to you.
Sir, I would like to request Sohail Saab, you have to come again. And Engineer Ayaz Mirza, Vice President IEP, Engineer Asim Murtaza, President NED International Alumni Network Association, Pakistan. You are all requested to please be here for the distribution of mementos. Are we prepared? Okay. So first of all, I would like to request Dr. Shamsoon Fareed. Would you please come over to receive your memento, sir? Okay, you can stop now. He has received. Dr. Farooq Arif, please come over, sir. Thank you. Professor Dr. Abdul Jabbar Sangi. Thank you. Professor Dr. Asadur Rahman Khan. Okay, I think he's gone for Asr prayers. Okay. Professor Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodi.
Professor for 2000 to 2021. Not a professor.
Okay, sir. And Engineer Syed Murad Ali Shah, our keynote speaker for today. Thank you so much, sir. Asim Murtaza. A huge round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Engineer Al-Kazim Manzoor, Vice Chairman, Civil and Allied, IEP Karachi Center, and Chief Organizer, 13th International Civil Engineering Conference, to please come and deliver the vote of thanks. A huge round of applause for sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Engineer Sayyid Murad Ali Shah Sahab, former Chief Minister of Sindh, and more our proud alumni. Engineer Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodi Sahab, Vice Chancellor. Engineer Sohail Bashir Sahab, Chairman IEP's Karachi Center. Engineer Asim Murtaza Sahab, President Alumni Association. Engineer Arif Qasim Sahab, Vice President Civil. Engineer Ayaz Mirza Sahab, Vice President IEP. Engineer Sadur Rahman Sahab, Dr. Abdul Jabbar Sangi Sahab, Dr. Shamsoon Fareed Sahab, Engineer Masood Ali Khan Sahab, Engineer Madhav Afzal Guraya Sahab, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. As the 13th Civil Engineering Conference comes to a close, I am honored to stand before you to express our deepest gratitude on behalf of the organizing committee. This remarkable event, jointly organized by the Institution of Engineers Pakistan, Karachi Center, and NED University of Engineering and Technology, has been a resounding success, and it was an immense pride that I extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you. It is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to all who have helped make this event such a success. What began as an initiative to put Pakistan on the map is today the country's largest gathering of professionals, academia, knowledge leaders, and policymakers. You will be glad to know that this year's conference was inaugurated by Engineer Mohammad Najib Haroon, Chairman, Pakistan Engineering Council. We would like to express our deep felt thanks to him for setting the tone of the event through the insightful inaugural address. I would like to thank our collaborator partners, the Asian Civil Engineering Consulting Coordinating Council, the Federation of Engineering Institutions of Islamic Countries, Federation of Engineering Institutions of South and Central Asia, Balochistan University of Information Technology, BUTIMS, Balochistan University of Engineering and Technology, Khuzdar, and Sir Syed University of Engineering and Technology, Karachi. Many experts with vast experience in the field have been keen enough to accept our request to present and invited speakers as well as plenary speakers in different plenary and technical sections. During the conference, the authors from different parts of the country presented their case studies, also deserve our compliments. The international resource persons have brought their knowledge and experience and shared with us. You have guided us in the right direction, and we appreciate that. We understand that you have taken time out of your very important schedule to contribute to this conference, and some of you have even traveled at a very short notice. Engineer Amirul Islam has traveled all the way from New Jersey to deliver this. Thank you for your invaluable contributions. To our keynote speaker, distinguished engineer Syed Murad Ali Shah, thanks for you sharing your expertise and shedding the light on the latest developments in our field. Your presentation has undoubtedly broadened our prospect and fueled our passion for civil engineering and sustainable. We have also been fortunate to have some eminent persons from academia, industry, and utility working in the area of civil engineering. I'm sure that participants must have benefited by attending this conference. I take this opportunity to thank the reviewers and technical committee members for providing their valuable comments and time and help towards the improvement of quality of papers to be presented in conference. And I can share my personal feeling that the papers presented in this conference were better and well-researched than any other conferences that I have attended in Pakistan. We thank to Engineer Professor Dr. Sarosh Hashmat Lodhi, Vice Chancellor, NED University of Engineering and Technology, convener of this conference, whose positive suggestions, timely advices, and personal efforts have made this conference a great success. Many special thanks to Professor Dr. Mohammad Tufail, Vice Chancellor, NED University of Engineering and Technology, who spared his valuable time and helped us to organize this conference. My sincere thanks to Engineer Professor Dr. Abdul Jabbar Sanghi, Chairman, Department of Civil Engineering, and co-convener 13th International Conference, Civil Engineering, for the untiring efforts in organizing this conference. And I also extend my personal condolences to Dr. Sanghi on the sad demise of his mother. And during all her illness and these testing time, he was always available for this conference. My sincere thanks to the members of the organizing committee for their untiring efforts in organizing this 13th International Civil Engineering Conference, particularly Engineer Dr. Shamoon Fareed, Secretary of this conference. My thanks to all session chairs of the conference. We thank all the sponsors for supporting the event. We thank the speakers who came from all over the country and abroad and joined us online and shared their relevant knowledge and precious time. We thank the delegates who have attended this conference both in person and virtually. We also thank the media for such an extensive coverage to this event. As all good things must come to an end, so does the 13th International Civil Engineering Conference. To conclude, let me once again reiterate that without you all, we will never have the courage to dream and passion to make it happen. In the end, my most sincere and deep-hearted thanks to gratitude to Almighty Allah, who gave us the courage and the strength to hold this function and will justice. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your vote of thanks. Before we leave, I would now once again like to request Engineer Suhail Bashir Saab, Chairman IP Karachi Center, to please come over. Dr. Asad is here now. Professor Dr. Asadur Rahman Khan, Dean, Faculty of Civil and Petroleum Engineering, Indian University, Karachi. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. This now brings us to the end of the 13th International Civil Engineering Conference. I thank you all for your participation and patient hearing. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you so much. And now, before you leave, you all are requested to join us for high tea and group photo. And we'll be having group photo here only. Okay, so first you stay back for the group photo and then join us for high tea. Okay, thank you so much. A very good evening.
इनको मैं कर देता हूँ सर, आप खड़े हो जाओ। तो सामने से हटो जल्दी।